Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Ezio's Olympus run. I'm here once again with, well, Ezio. Hi, Ezio.
Hello.
And here we're going to be covering the other one of Ezio's qualifiers. In Olympus, you play in 2 qualifying games. Obviously, his first one didn't go so well. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it first. It's quite short and sweet. This one, he's playing
Short and sweet for us is like 45 minutes. Putting that out there.
Yeah, we were anticipating that, like, we'd have that video done in, like, 15 minutes, and then it took 3 times as long. Because we're Diplo strats. But anyway, here we are on the second one of Ezio's qualifiers, with Ezio in Russia, right? So, how were you feeling about drawing Russia in this game?
Oh, I mean, I don't love Russia. It's a solid power. I think it's a very, very good power in high-level tournament play. Notably, these first rounds of Olympus qualifier were open to everyone, so it is still a tournament, and people are still going to play to win, but I don't think the level of these games is particularly high yet. Once you get into the semis and the finals, the level increases dramatically as you have eliminations. But I'm just not very good as Russia, usually. And so I don't love Russia, but I don't do well as anyone. I feel like Russia's like, I would pick like France, England, Italy over Russia. Maybe Germany. I don't know. Anyways, I don't love Russia, but it's fine. I think it's a good one to be in tournament play.
Mm-hmm.
You're strong on both sides of the line, etc., etc. I much prefer Russia to Austria. I mean, I do agree with that.
So there are a lot of interesting moves on this first board around you. For one, there are some things that stand out as great, like Germany not going to Denmark. Some things that stand out as really bad, like this Turkish unit in Armenia. And then you go into Galicia, which feels to me like you were stabbing Austria in some way, right?
To God, I don't remember if I broke a DMZ here in Galicia. I'm pretty sure I didn't. I'm pretty sure Austria just let me in there.
Really?
But yes, with the agreement that I will then go take Romania. But also I might have not done that and just then decided I would take Romania from Galicia. But no, I seem to remember this, the opening of the negotiations in this one are quite weird, because I think Turkey told me they were moving into Armenia like this. I think what Turkey told me is that they wanted to do a Smyrna hold equivalent, but they wanted to show a little hostility to me first. But they totally weren't going to attack me, and they were going to move to Armenia first. I'm pretty sure. What am I supposed to say?
I mean, you could say, please go to Syria, maybe.
Sure. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have a bad habit of saying yes to people and letting them do if I think they're doing something dumb, I will say yes and let them do the dumb thing.
Okay.
Yes, in this case, the dumb thing does show hostility to me, but I feel pretty good about things. I'm pretty sure this was gonna be fine, and I trust my read. But I think when I heard that, it made me be like, hey, let's. I'm not gonna also let Austria into Galicia. So Austria certainly knows that I'm moving into Galicia. I will say that. I either agree to a bounce or he just says, hey, go take it. I'm like 95% on that. Again, this game, when we played, was in the same time frame as the 6 Weeks of Chaos, so that's months and months and months ago. And Backstabber does not let you look at old press. The press of the game has closed. So I can't confirm anything.
Mm-hmm. That is unfortunate, but then also it means we should go through this a little bit faster than than if you were reading the press through the whole thing, right?
Well, I read the press to catch up on this instead of just going from memory. But
Oh.
this was standard opening press with everyone, where I'm Russia and I'm trying to make friends, I'm trying to make peace. I talked to England and I try to get them not to convoy into Norway. I talked to Italy about wintergreen because you always talk to Italy about wintergreen. It's so natural, it's so good.
Yeah,
And then
for viewers who aren't familiar with that term, wintergreen is Italy-Russia alliance, basically where they crush these two powers one by one in some order.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just very, very strong.
yeah, especially in the current meta where everyone kills Turkey first. It's just really good.
Yeah, so generally press seems to be going really well. This is not something I see very often, the Kiel to Holland, and it's really good for you because it means they can't bounce you in Sweden. Shall we go to the fall?
Let's do it.
Alright. Fall 1901. Oh, okay, so Turkey was true to their word here and went back from Armenia to Ankara.
Yeah.
So I guess your read was correct.
And I just go into Black Sea.
I assumed this was not agreed.
Nope.
Man, you got England.
So it's just good, right?
This is really nice position. Like, England getting convoyed into Belgium is great for you. And there's no enemy army up here, and you have a friendly Austria and potentially a Lepantoing Italy, and Turkey is taken completely by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a read that Turkey is not going to snipe Sevastopol here, and that they're trying to just get into Aegean from Ankara, why not take Black Sea? It's just, this gives you an absolutely crushing position against Turkey. Yeah, just really strong.
I also assume that you going into Galicia really helps with this kind of negotiation, right? Because if Turkey sees you committing against Austria, what looks like committing against Austria, they're much more likely to do something like this and trust you on Black Sea, which obviously they shouldn't have.
Yeah, trust that I'm going to stay empty, that I'm going to support Ukraine into Romania, and Galicia is going to take a shot at one of Budapest or Vienna. That's because that happens all the time as Russia here, right? You go for something. But no, I just converted this into a free Black Sea. Yeah, well, I'm still building, right? So I'm at +2. Obviously, I got Sweden still. This is nuts. I don't love the England and Germany coordination. Because it means that Sweden is potentially vulnerable. But at least England didn't convoy an army into Norway. So that works out. Yeah, it was still okay.
Yeah. I did want to say down here, this is quite risky, right?
What, leaving Sevastopol open like this?
Yeah, well, there's an enemy army in Armenia.
It's not as risky as you might think. So let's say that Turkey does tap Sevastopol here and gets in, and they don't tap Black Sea. Because I'm guaranteed Sweden, and because of how likely it is that I take Romania as well, we would need Austria and Turkey to coordinate there. Even if I lose Sevastopol, I would get into Black Sea, and I would get to build an army in Moscow. And so that position is still pretty good for me.
Yeah, you'll have the three armies surrounding Sevastopol.
Yeah, three
plus
armies and a fleet in Black Sea.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wasn't that worried even if I lose it. Obviously, it wouldn't be great, but I figured the upside if I got in was worth taking the shot for.
Yeah, so what's your game plan going forward from here once you're in Black Sea? Is it just like, well, they can't get into Black Sea now?
Yeah, can't get into Black Sea. I'm going to put down an army in Sev no matter what. And I'm probably going to just kill Turkey. My press with Austria had been quite solid this game. I'm feeling good about us for now. And there's a Lepanto getting set up. My press with Italy is good, so I think even if Austria, like, we can probably wintergreen afterwards. Um, I feel just very good about the South in general. I think I feel so good that I'm free to put down an army in St. Pete, but don't quote me on that part. Um,
Shall we go forward and see whether you did?
yeah, we can see that. But my plan is just, hey, be strong and then kill neighbors.
Ah, no army St. Pete.
Yeah, put in Moscow, sure, because I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 army Germany build.
That's an interesting one. Are you happy or unhappy about this?
Yes, I'm very happy. Because it means that Germany can't get Sweden. Like, normally, if there's coordination between England and Germany, like, England would agree to get St. Pete and Germany get Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually how things go. So if Germany builds a fleet, then they can go to Baltic and do stuff and be annoying. Part of what's so nice about taking Denmark with this army is there is no support in the Baltic available. So if they build a fleet, Berlin, for example, I can tap Baltic and cover it always.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's not the end of the world. Things are still a little risky here. Like, obviously, if Germany attacks me, things go rough. If England attacks me, things go rough. Based on the press and the board texture, seeing the convoy into Belgium with Germany supporting that, fleets in Brest and London, like, I suspect I'm going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. It suddenly feels like, well, it feels to me like Germany is 100% committed to England because of these no fleets, right?
Yeah.
But they're also not intending to go for you. Notably, when you said they couldn't attack you in Sweden, they can, right? They can get the support in, but doing so would give you a retreat into Baltic that they can't prevent, and that's incredibly irritating for them, because they'll have 4 dots around that, including 2 at their home centers. So, yeah.
Yeah, and can't is a strong word, but it also means that they truly can't get both Sweden and St. Petersburg this phase, like this year.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Unless you leave it, like, St. Petersburg open.
Yeah, if I don't defend, then things can go awkward. Yeah, maybe I didn't. I don't even know if I cover St. Petersburg.
Well, obviously, a huge part of diplomacy is also the press reads. You can say, I can say, you should cover St. Petersburg in this position because they might slip in, but if you get a correct read that they're not going to do that, then press takes priority, right? That's, so, yeah. Okay, so my general feeling then is that this is going to be a 3-way alliance in the north, and pushing south generally, right? Well, those 2 are going to push into France, and you're going to try and kill Turkey, and then probably go into Austria.
I'm worried a little bit about Germany here. I think I'm worried, like, the 2 army builds are scary, and I recognize that if I do what look like natural moves, right, supporting myself into Armenia, and then moving Moscow south into Sevastopol, I noticed that Germany could snipe Warsaw by moving into Prussia and Silesia.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still have Kiel to cover Munich, so they're not actually at risk that much. And when I look at the probable war between England and France, I suspect that Germany is on side with England, right? So they don't actually stand to gain much from interfering in that war. So I don't want to move I want to keep Moscow generally in the area. Is the thing I remember.
Gotcha.
And Ukraine's obviously not going anywhere, so this means I can cover Warsaw if I need to. Yeah.
Okay. Shall we take a look at how that looks then? Spring 01? Spring 02.
Let's see it.
Even now, let's not go back to Spring 01. Alright. You are absolutely correct that you do this. This looks like
slightly
it's
incorrect.
Coordinated with Austria. Going
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, this is Austria saying, let's go kill Germany. He built a lot of armies and I'm scared.
Mm-hmm. And you go for that? I mean, this is amazing, right? They can't retaliate against you, at least. But as Germany, I would now be going, well, screw you, Russia, right? Because
anything.
Well, you're clearly coming for them, right? Livonia
Probably.
and Warsaw?
I mean, probably. I think that's fair. But, like, Austria is the one who's really attacking them.
Mm-hmm. But they can't do anything against Austria is the thing. Wait.
What can they do against me?
Are they attacking England in some way here?
Looks like it.
Curious.
I think that was supposed to be Fleet Liverpool or something, and they got spooked. But...
okay. Well, it looks like the West is going to be chaotic then. Which is
yeah,
good
and it looks like the East is going to be not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is very good coordination on the whole kill turkey angle. This is very, very common thing to see in high-level games. This less so, but it's going to be super interesting to see how that plays out this early on, right?
Which one? The move into Germany?
Just generally the attack into Germany plus between multiple Eastern powers, right?
Yeah.
1902
and it's
is a bit
definitely
early.
Yeah, and I'm a little concerned, right? Because if Austria stabs me, then things can go ugly. I'm assuming they don't want to do that yet, because I'm pretty heavily committed to taking centers off of Turkey. I just helped them into Bulgaria. Well, this is part of why I think Russia is such a nice power to be, as opposed to, say, Austria. Even though I have this stable alliance with Austria, Austria's position is not secure. Because, yes, we're killing Turkey, and yes, I'm working with Austria to do everything he wants, but once Turkey dies, Austria is still going to be sandwiched between me and Italy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good news for him.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm perfectly happy to work with him. And he's, I think, going to be the one to get a center out of Germany first, right? He's going to get Munich, and I gave him Bulgaria. But I'm still feeling very good about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, Munich isn't guaranteed here. I guess we'll have to see in the fall turn. What's going on?
We'll have to see if France taps it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, shall we move ahead then?
Yeah.
All right. Fall.
Check out fall.
1902. Ooh, no Lepanto. I thought it would be going to here. Because that was a guaranteed move, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless I mess with it.
Well, yes, but I gotta assume you're not bouncing Italy out of Syria here.
Probably not.
But yeah, was this just a full-on stab? Going into...
I think so.
Trieste?
I think if you were stabbing, wouldn't you convoy into Albania?
Yeah, absolutely you would. That's true. So, this was an arranged bounce then?
I mean, I'm not sure. I suspect it was arranged and that Italy told Austria to do this. But I'm not 100% sure as to why or how. Maybe Italy got spooked to say, oh my god, I'm still only on 4 centers and Austria's already on 6 with Bulgaria. Maybe if they go to 7, I'm going to be in really bad shape. So, yeah? I'm not sure exactly. What I know is that I should have tapped Denmark.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I held when I shouldn't have held, and then, oops. Move your units, guys.
Yeah, that would have been a nice +1 pickup there. Although I'm very surprised they didn't do Heligoland cover it or something along those lines. Although
I too am surprised, but there's no reason for Sweden to hold here. Tapping Denmark is always good.
Yep.
If I end up in there, that's great. If I don't end up in there, maybe I bounced something, or I forced it to not. But there is no reason for me to hold Sweden here.
Yeah.
Yeah, big regrets. This should have been an extra fleet in St. Pete, South Coast, and that makes everything feel so good.
Mm-hmm. Well, you get another build here with the the killing of Ankara, and you've got two
actually, I think I
armies.
still put the fleet down. Yeah, I think, but then it would be an extra army in Warsaw or something, which would also feel very good.
Yeah. 2 armies in Turkey is very interesting. It's very, very committal, right? But it also means you're likely going to be able to get the centers that should be promised to Italy in this kind of alliance.
Since Italy didn't go for the convoy into Syria, now I have claim to Smyrna.
Yes. And I think I see why they didn't, right? just having the unit in Tyrolia must be so spooky here with the potential of building another one here.
Yeah, I mean, except now, and yeah, now Austria gets to build the army in Trieste, and so that's why you had to convoy to Apulia, right, to support Hold Venice?
Yes, yeah. Ouch. Alright, well, we'll see how that turns out. Is there anything else you want to talk about here?
Just that the West is going kind of exactly how you want the West to go as Russia. No, there's no clear winner. All three of them are playing off of each other, and there's going to be a long, drawn-out war while I can make steady gains.
Mm-hmm. And England is forced to just leave their centre open next to you, which is nice for you as
Feels
well.
good. Yeah, that always feels good. But let it be known that Sweden saw Norway, and I knew Norway was open, I just didn't take it.
Yeah. Well, here, I've got to assume that Denmark was tapping you, right? I wouldn't go for Norway either.
Well, you would have assumed that, right? Exactly. But I could have, again, I should have tapped Denmark. Either way, I saw dots, I didn't take dots. Let it be known. That happens sometimes.
Alright, shall we go ahead to the winter?
Yeah.
Okay, so winter 1902. This is a power rankings turn. We've got St. Petersburg on the south coast here coming in. Army Vienna. Is that the only two builds? Looks that
Turkey,
way.
nothing else happened.
Yeah, Turkey got their units blown up here and here, so they are still neutral. Alright, well, what are you thinking power rankings wise?
I think I'm in first. I think Russia, number one.
Okie dokie.
Austria's in second.
Yep.
I think it's like our alliance is running the board, and Austria has a window to do a pretty brutal stab against me. And so it's basically a question of do they try to go for that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if they do, my position still feels quite good, which is why I'm saying I'm going to put myself as number one. But also, I think I can delay it for an extra year by offering them Constantinople. And so I don't think they want to stab me for Armenia when they can still just take Khan.
Yeah, this is always the interesting point in an Austria game, right, where you are murdering Turkey, because this is the moment where you have to seize the advantage on one of your two neighbours, and hope that the other one is very trustworthy. And it seems like Italy does not trust Austria at all, so as Austria in this position, I would also be looking to align with you a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
But then in that situation, I would be really wanting to try and get a position where I can kill Italy, which doesn't feel like this build really does. I will see as we go, though. Who would you put in third place?
Probably France.
Yeah.
You're France.
They are France. They seem to be hard aligned with Germany for the moment, which is a nice turnaround from the previous turn, right? They don't have strong expansion just yet, but they also don't seem to have any enemies on their border, like, very close to their centres or anything.
I mean, England is still a threat, but it's not like England's going to get anything anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not with Germany on side. And generally speaking, if you are France in a game where Russia is doing well, you are going to have opportunities as the board turns to hit Russia.
Yeah. Well, when you say hit Russia, do you mean, like...
The board will turn, Germany, England, Italy will say, oh my god, Russia's huge, you have to go fight them. And then you can go and eat centers from them when they have to turn around.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Alright, so I assume Turkey is in last place.
Yes.
Would you say Italy is second last?
I think Italy's position is that bad. Again, I am very strong as Russia, and I know my proclivities as Russia. I love doing the wintergreen, and I feel that Austria is vulnerable. I think as Italy, you do still have to survive, which is obviously annoying, but move into Piedmont, move into Venice, you could even pull out of Eastern Med, like, just defensive mode, curl up into a ball. But honestly, the move into Piedmont and Venice does a really good job at keeping you secure.
Yeah, I don't love it because you're still stuck on 4, right? There's no center that I can see you getting as Italy in the near future here.
That's true. I do think it's going to be tough for Italy. But would you rather be Germany, who's about to lose Berlin?
No. That's true.
Yeah. So, and like England's position is not great, but it's also not dying anytime soon. You've still got the North Sea. Russia built the fleet in St. Pete's south coast, not the north coast, so maybe you're losing Norway, but even still, you've got this army in Yorkshire that's not doing anything, and as long as you got control of the oceans, you're fine. So, I don't know. I think Germany. We put Germany last after Turkey, right?
Yes, I've got it.
Yeah.
So then, this is what I'm looking at, unless you want Italy swapped with England.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I would honestly rather be Italy than England in this particular position based on the negotiations, right? With Germany and France at war with England, England is going to struggle to grow, whereas Italy doesn't have any enemies, right? Except for a two-center Turkey. Maybe Austria's an enemy, maybe not, but because you have no enemies, you're free to grow, and you'll make it happen.
Yeah.
But I think they're both... England's England, and that's on 5 centers, so it's tough.
I think my thought is, if Italy can get you to support them into Smyrna, then they're in a decent spot. If they cannot do that, then they're in a bad spot. So, we'll see how that works out.
It's a shame it's me in Russia.
Shall we go through to the spring?
Yeah, let's see it.
Alright, spring 1903. Wow. Okay, well that's quite the turnaround from Italy.
Yeah.
Did you just say to them, no, you're not getting Smyrna here? Or were they, like, saying, I want to go back?
Remember exactly? I think they were like, hey, I see the writing on the walls, I'm not getting Smyrna, so... Alright, I'll go deal with Austria. And I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I remember saying, like, hey, I've made this big commitment, right? I've convoyed this extra army over here. I'm gonna get Smyrna. If you'd convoyed into Syria, yeah, I'd be giving you Smyrna every time. But like, I'm the one who's convoyed the army, not you. So mine. Give dot.
Yep. So that. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. This feels really painful to do as Italy. Just.
Yeah.
I see it gives them a decent position, but, like, I don't see what dot it gets them. Austria has the defensive... Oh, no! Okay, no, Austria does have 2 defensive units on Trieste, right? As long as they support Tyrolia back in here, they can hold that.
Yep.
And I've got to assume that Austria will be unhappy about this. Right. And it's potentially
rather hostile, doesn't it?
Yes.
And importantly, right, it denies Austria a potential future, right? It means Austria can't stab Italy if they want to anymore.
Yeah. That's true. I feel like if Austria did want to stab Italy, I mean, I don't even see when the time would have been to do it, given this. Their potential attack this turn was Tyrolia to Piedmont, Bohemia to Tyrolia, and Vienna to Trieste, but this would have obviously been bounced, so Italy did a good job defending themselves there.
Absolutely. And I do think this was primarily defensive, right? I don't think you move to Piedmont like this if you're not trying to defend. But yeah.
It's so defensive that it becomes aggressive, right? Because the only person they can possibly win centers from now is the person that they're defending against.
Yeah.
Unless they slip into Marseille. That is a possibility, I suppose.
Which would be very funny, I agree.
Is there anything else you want to talk about here?
This spring phase is where I got weird vibes from Austria. I can tell they're planning on stabbing me this year. I can tell, but I'm not, like... It's one of those tells that you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna happen. But also, I can't do anything about it. The nature of the press on this board has been weird. Because I am the board top, right? I have the most centers, and it's clear my position is quite good. And when talking to Italy and England, they're like, you're going to stab Austria at some point, and you're just going to kill Austria, and then you're going to win the game. So I really can't work with you as much as you want to work with me. Which is a pitch that I've been trying to make to everyone, to say, hey, let's be friends. Let's do stuff. Will you help me with Denmark? Will you help me with yada yada? And then they're like, no, can't do that. And if I am the one who makes the move against Austria, then I'm the one who stabbed Austria. Because I'm always the one who stabs. It's never me, getting stabbed. Even if two people stab each other simultaneously, or I just defend against the stab, I'm the one who did the stab, as we've all seen. At least in non-anon games. And so here, I look at the stab, and I'm like, what's the worst possible case if Austria stabs me, okay? They walk into Romania, they walk into Galicia.
Yeah.
Okay, how bad is that?
That's really not very bad at all, right? Because you're picking up Smyrna
Totally
and
fine.
Berlin.
I'm getting Smyrna, I'm getting Berlin, maybe I get Denmark if I can get England to help, but we'll see. And so I'm still building, and I'm going to have 3 units on Constantinople. I'm still in the Black Sea, so it's not like they can really hold everything forever. And with Italy making these moves, especially when Austria gets the jump on me, then suddenly Austria is the big stabber, and they're the one who has to get teamed, not me. So it's really okay if I get stabbed here, because I'm big, and they can't get a critical stabbing. They can't get into Ukraine, right? If they could teleport into Ukraine and Galicia, I would feel very different about the whole position. But they can't, and I can't, so I don't have to worry.
Mm-hmm. And they have to defend Trieste at the same time as doing this, right? So that Galicia, Romania, they're still going to be a little bit out of position just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we go to fall and see how it plays out? I didn't hear your answer if you said something.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yes, let's do it.
Alrighty. Fall 1903. Here we go. Yeah, stab happens. It is a 1-dot stab. Oh, it could have...
Classic one daughter.
Yeah. Oh my god, and they lose Trieste at the same time?
Yes, but they get Venice.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't actually lose it, so they still go +2 this phase. But they can only build 1.
That's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, they needed to double defend Trieste. Although if they had, they'd have gotten Tyrolia blown up, right? Oh, they could have retreated to Bohemia. This is a nice move from Italy, pulling this unit down into here. Of course, the downside
getting Russia, getting Germany on side. And so... Sorry?
I was going to say, Italy has no defense on Rome here, right? They've got no builds, so this Austrian unit is going to be a horrific pain for them.
Absolutely. It's absolutely the dream for me. Because Italy's now locked into the war with Austria. And so Italy's like, oh my god, Russia, please save me. Please, please, please attack Austria. And Austria, you can see, was trying to support Turkey back into Smyrna and thought that I would be doing something else with the Black Sea. I'm not really sure. And so they were like, oh, maybe I can deny Russia this build in Smyrna, so Russia's not building. And if Russia wasn't building this phase, this stab looks a lot better, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously I am building. And so that's not going to happen. And so Austria looks at this, sees me build, sees Italy stab, because I guess they didn't think this was happening? I guess? I'm not really sure. And then it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Russia. I didn't mean to stab you. Please don't, let's be friends again. I'm so sorry. This was a misunderstanding. I didn't mean to, whatever. It was like, Austria realizes, oh no. Yeah. You can't have a more solid ally than me, right? I had no units on his border. I had supported him into, 2 or 3 centers. Yeah, I supported him into Munich here, too, right? I was doing everything I could. And then he stabbed me while getting stabbed by Italy. And their position does not look good.
Yeah.
And And I say, yeah, no worries, buddy. Absolutely, we're fine. No problem.
We all make mistakes.
We've all been there. I mean, you look at a stab, it feels real juicy. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it, buddy.
Mm-hmm. And something tells me you are not going to follow through on that promise.
Look, man, if you stab me, I'm going to try to take your centers. Thanks for giving me an excuse.
Ezio's been seeing the dots for some time, but now has a reason to take the dots. I gotta assume, even if Austria didn't stab you here, right? You go for Constantinople in the next year.
Yeah, look, if Austria... Well, I mean, it's tough because I can't, like, Romania wouldn't be a dot that I could take.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I already had it.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like...
So
if Austria doesn't stab, I honestly don't know how things go. It's just such a different game from there. I probably... Like, I would still be +2 this phase, right? I would probably put down Army Warsaw and Fleet St. Pete North Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how we would go about demilitarizing. I would probably actually have agreed to trade Con for Romania. I would say, hey, Austria, you take Romania, I'll take Con, and then I have Turkey locked down and safe. And then we work something out later. I don't know exactly how things go, but then I try to actually get Scandinavia and Denmark and stuff, and like, I don't know. I think probably, but I really didn't think that was likely to happen. Just, I had a feeling this was going to go down mostly like this.
Yeah.
And I think this position's amazing for me.
I can't disagree. It's definitely one of the better post-getting stabbed positions I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Alright, shall we move to winter?
Let's do it.
Alright, winter 1903. Army Sevastopol comes down, Army Budapest. Oh, Germany takes off Tyrolia, so this, getting German help is not gonna be very helpful, I suppose.
Yes. I remember talking to Germany, and I say something along the lines of, hey, look, we can keep fighting here, but I'd rather just call this a draw. I'll take Denmark, you take Berlin back. I want to go cover and deal with Austria. Let's be friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then Germany's like, okay.
Yeah, I think I would take that as Germany here as well. Like, I'm losing Denmark anyway, right? There's two...
Yeah, you're probably losing Denmark anyways. You can still kind of defend it, but you don't want to have to worry about, like, Kiel and stuff. Mm-hmm. So... Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to say on the winter, or should we just go straight through to the spring?
I think straight through to the spring.
Alright, spring 1904. Well, Austria does rotate back. You were absolutely correct on that.
Yeah?
It looks like you didn't keep your word.
You know, I honestly don't remember if he agreed to just give me Khan in exchange for him being so mean to me in the past and stabbing me like a meanie butt. It honestly might have been agreed. I do have a habit of getting people to agree to sell me dots in exchange for me working with them. Mm-hmm. And he did take Romania from me. I don't remember if this is agreed or not. But my next move was not agreed.
I can imagine.
So,
yeah.
That's where we get to the point where, like, alright, fine.
Well, at this point, it's looking like Austria is absolutely going to win this war if you don't get involved on Italy's side, right?
Oh yeah. With these moves that were made, it's not clean at all. Like, yeah, Italy's in Tyrolia now, but who gives? Rome is still cooked. There's nothing, like, Trieste is lost. Yeah, it'd be really bad.
Mm-hmm. Certainly as Austria here, I would pretty much always order Venice to Rome and Trieste to Venice. Just because you get the +1 dot here, right? And then Italy can't really stop that. They could bounce you out of Venice, but then you still have Venice. And if they attack Trieste with 2, then you end up with like armies here and here, they're never getting the homeland back, right? That's just it's gonna be a painful time for them.
Yeah. I think that's a good move sequence. But here I ask Italy to support themselves into Greece. That's the big one. And then I'll say, "Hey Italy, I'm coming in to save the day. Have no fear. Russia is coming." I think. Or I don't even tell them that, and I leave them to just be sad, because I don't want to tell everyone that I'm gonna kill Austria here. But also, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like, this is a really neat way of doing it if you did get them to agree to sell you Constantinople, right? Because they're gonna be now, okay, I need to have Russia on side, I'm gonna do the pro-Russia thing. That means trusting Russia over Bulgaria because I have to hold Greece. The Italians are gonna attack Greece with 2, I will lose it if I don't issue the support hold. So you have free access to Bulgaria if you want it. And if they don't, you could potentially get 2.
Even if we'd agreed that I get con, we did not agree that I was supposed to pop the army in con.
That's true.
So I certainly, even if we had the agreement, and I don't even think we had the agreement, we probably just didn't. I think we'd said something, and even if we didn't have an agreement on the previous phase, Austria here is still in the, oh my god, I need to finish off Italy phase, please Russia, please don't kill me, I stabbed you, I understand you were pissed, fine, you had your retaliation, let's be friends, let's peace out from here. So, yeah. That sort of stuff happens.
Yeah. I do want to pivot a second and talk about the West. Like, I really like the trade that you've made here, because it looks like you're still attacking Germany to these 2 players, right? So that's gonna keep them fighting. And this West is just, like, the epitome of what you want as a Russia. Okay, these 3 powers have been fighting for the entire game, and the only centre that's changed hands is Belgium. Plus you've got Denmark grabbed Berlin for a bit.
Yeah, it's the dream.
Yep, no one is getting the upper hand in this region. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah, anything else you want to talk about here?
I think we go to the fall.
Alright, fall 04. Yep, there goes Bulgaria. Actually, they do it in a different way to what I was expecting. I thought they would hold Greece, but they don't.
Nope, they hold Romania instead and just waste the unit. Because I don't go for Romania.
I wonder if they try to work something out with Italy here. I mean, this tells me they probably didn't. But at the same time, I don't think you do this unless you're, like, more worried about you than you are about Italy.
I mean, let's assume if you're at war with both of us, like, I think you are more worried about me than Italy.
Yes, that's true.
But even still, it's just the tactics are tough, man.
And yeah, Italy manages to slip into Venice here, so they don't end up going. No, they do go down 1, right? Because they lose Trieste and no, they gain.
They gain
Greece.
Venice and Greece, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and they had one.
They had an army get popped in Trieste, right? So they actually are building.
Wow, good job, Italy.
Yeah, staying alive.
Alright. And other things, I mean, you getting into Bohemia and Galicia is really nice at the same time as getting into Bulgaria. Man, it's such a good position. And in the West, they're still all just throwing units at each other. Like,
Belgium changed hands again.
Well, actually, England got in and then got blown up before they could take it, so it still belongs to France, but, like,
sure,
this is the only movement that's happened.
Yes, and Germany, I don't remember if they actually asked me to get into North Sea, or if they were like, hey, we'll just toss the support in anyways. I think they asked me to do it and expected me to make the move, but I was like, hey, England, we're best friends. I'm not gonna stab you. Why would I do that?
Yeah, because you want to prop up the side that's potentially losing the war, right? and England is definitely on the back foot here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have taken Kiev.
Anything else you want to talk about here?
Just a quick analysis of this position against Austria, because my position is so good. I have armies in Bohemia and Galicia and Bulgaria and Khan and Sevastopol, and I have a fleet in the Black Sea, and that's all me. And Austria's got this war going on. Sadly for me, it's a fleet increase, not an army. But Austria is going to lose Rome as well, for sure. And I suspect there are still going to be some hostilities between Austria and Italy. But I have to be careful about killing Austria very quickly now. Like, I have to do it quickly. Because I suspect if I take too long, Italy and Austria will manage to make friends. And I really don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. It's like when someone's in this powerful of a position and they're making gains, right, that kind of forces enemies to become friends just to not lose.
Yeah, again, I'm on 10 centers now, and the next highest is on 6.
Mm.
And they're France, who can't do anything. The other person who's on 6 is Austria, who all they can do is feed me centers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's go through some of the winter here, because then we get to see that position, right? And we have the Russian 10, Austria 6, France 6, and then everyone else is on 4?
Yeah. Except for Turkey, who's dead.
Yeah, Turkey is out of it. That is an extremely balanced board, except for you.
Yeah. Man, balance of power play?
Actually happening here. I mean, this is just perfect balance of power play over here, right? It hasn't really required your input, even, but the fact that you haven't given your input for the most part is the balance of power.
Me leaving England with Norway.
Mm-hmm.
That's the play. Right? That's why there's been so much chaos there. If I have taken Norway at any point and England went down to 3 fleets, they would stop being so much chaos.
Yes, because France
England
would
needs the 4 units. Yeah, France and Germany together would eventually have broken it. And so this is why there's been so much chaos, because England has seen that I have not threatened Norway at any point the entire game. And they've had their extra units to go and mess around in the West forever. So, I do take credit for that. I think it was smart play to not take Norway.
Yeah. You scored up, did not take dot. Excellent.
Yeah. The argument for this, by the way, is because I don't really think Norway is a dot that I would hold. Like, if I had taken Norway, I think there was a very real chance that England does pivot back into Norwegian Sea, pressures Norway. And so I would need my fleet that's currently covering Denmark to, like, actually be in Norway, and then the build would have to be in St. Pete to help cover Norway. So it doesn't actually give me dots, it's fake dots. And instead, it would probably mean that France gets into England and this bad stuff, and I get only 1 dot here, but I don't think I would be able to leverage Norway into a full-on attack against England. With what's been going on in the south, that's needed all of my attention and units. So, yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think this is a good way to play Russia. You manage to control the north with as few units there as possible so that you can focus everything on the place where you're actually going to get centers, which is nice.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I've gotten all of Turkey, right? I just have become the juggernaut.
This is a power rankings turn. I have a feeling that you're staying at the top.
Yep. France is number 2.
France 2, yep. 3... This is where things get a bit harder.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to drop Turkey off the power rankings, because they have been eliminated here. But I think, honestly... I mean, God, the rest of them are so difficult, because everything's so balanced over here, right? France wins out in the long term because you're the strongest power on the board. And because they're France.
Because they can stay alive until the board has to go and deal with me, and then they have a chance, but not a great chance.
Yes. Austria feels... I mean, Austria's GM fleet is going to be a little annoying to you, at least, right?
It is definitely going to be annoying.
But, God,
but Italy's on side, right? So Italy's going to help with it.
Yeah, I feel like Italy actually ends up above Austria in the power rankings here because of the situation, like the diplomatic
Yeah, I think
situation.
Italy is in third on the power rankings, honest. Right above England, above Germany.
Yeah, that's kind of incredible. And then Germany and England, I don't really know how to differentiate those.
I think Germany above England. I think England is more committed to war with France.
Okay.
Maybe not. France only has 2 fleets and 4 armies.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, right? England has 4 fleets. There's no real way that people are going to punch through into them without your assistance. And I doubt
Exactly.
you'll
Why would I ever help?
Yeah. Really what they need to do is, like, trade Belgium so that Germany can put a fleet on the board, but I don't know if you'd allow them to do that, right? You've got the 2 units adjacent. You don't really want extra German fleets here. You're very happy with things as they are. Yeah. So, it's tough. Alright, well, this is what I've got right now. Russia, then France, then Italy, then Austria, then Germany, then England. I don't know if Austria is even in the right place, but they have 6 centers and these guys have 4, so... yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think I would rather be Germany than Austria.
Alright.
I would put Austria last.
Okay.
Sucks to be Austria.
But centers, they have 6 and the others have 4.
Yes, you're a 6 center Austria, but dude, look at where Russia's units are, man. You can't hope to live like this.
Yeah, this is just pain. And there's no help anywhere, right? You're not gonna get out of this situation. Germany maybe YOLOing into Silesia and Prussia could help you out a little bit, but even then, how does that doesn't do anything? Because they're pinned in by you from the north. You need that to be coordinated with England going against Russia, and that's not going to happen.
See the spring?
Yeah, let's go to spring of 05. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, it does happen.
Germany YOLOs into Prussia and Silesia. Is like, oh my god, Russia's on 10. You gotta stop them. But England doesn't make the move.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do anything, right? You've got the 2 units to defend it. You don't even need Ukraine and Warsaw on this front because your armies are so advanced already. Obviously, it's going to be a little annoying that you can't push them forwards, but there's nothing they can really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need England coming over the top, and that would just give France the opportunity to run into them all. It just feels terrible.
One of the notable things is that it looks like Italy and Austria worked a lot out this phase. Austria just walked out of Rome, and Italy convoyed into Greece, while Greece moved into Aegean Sea.
Yeah, that is...
So that part is potentially scary, because it looks like Austria and Italy are now at peace, and then we got problems.
Yeah.
And so that would be unfortunate. And so this is one of the big reasons why I've been talking to Italy all game. I've been honest about it. It's like, dude, I'm still trying to win this game. I don't think I'm out of it yet. So here, I agree to support Italy into Smyrna and support Italy into Serbia.
Ooh. Nice. Yeah, I think that's a very good play. You want to get Italy on side, right? Is there a vulnerability to you for doing that? Obviously, Austria can pick up Smyrna, but then you're saying Smyrna is gone anyway if you're supporting Italy, and so feels like it doesn't have any downsides, really.
Bulgaria. Because they need to use Constantinople to... But Constantinople's getting tapped anyways, right? So Constantinople, I'd rather support Italy in there. And then... Yeah. But also, just again, I've been talking with Italy all game. Italy's been a friend. We've been working together.
Yep.
Let's help out Italy, eh?
And Austria stabbed you both, so you've got that camaraderie from that point.
Absolutely.
There's also the fact that this is a qualifying round is important, right? It's like Italy is not going to feel the pressure of I have to be the board top no matter what. That
Or if you're trying to be the board top, I still think doing this is correct. Because you are, as Italy, you are just getting these centers.
mhm.
Right? It's not like I'm asking for you to like tap anything and help me out. It's just straight, would you like to have Serbia and Smyrna?
Yeah, I'd say yes too.
Exactly. Right? It's really nice. Although part of the nice thing about this does overextend Italy.
That
Because Italy is taking Smyrna from Aegean and Serbia from Greece, there's nothing reinforcing Smyrna or Greece or Serbia. Right? Suddenly we've pulled Aegean out of the way, we've pulled Greece out of the way. And so this is one of the few times where I think you're overextending a little bit on the base map.
Yeah. So actually, I might, as Italy, take one of the two and not the other. Just to say, okay, I'm gonna get my build, but I'm still in a position where I can say to Austria, hey, Austria, I still want to work with you against Russia here. That deal was just too good to pass up entirely.
Too good to pass up. But the two centers deal it's twice as good as the one center deal.
The thing is, they don't need it, right? They're getting 1, 2, 3, and they've only got 2 open home centers. They can't build.
What if Austria stabs them, right? What if Austria tries to mess with them and goes for Venice or something, right?
Surely Austria doesn't, right? I mean, they could. They could just be like, okay, my time in this game is up. I need to evacuate my homeland. But God, that would feel so bad if, after you manage to work this kind of stuff out.
Yeah. But I'm quite happy with how I negotiated that. And to say, hey, look, you can have them. Go take these centers. Enjoy.
Yeah. Well, alright. I'm very much looking forward to that. Is there anything else you want to talk about here before we move on to see the results?
Hey, look at it.
Alright. Full 1905. And yeah, Italy does take both the supports and moves into Adriatic at the same time. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Very good move on your part.
The move into Adriatic is the one that I'm like, wow, I kind of can't believe Italy did that.
Mm-hmm.
The Adriatic is generally a much less important province than Aegean. Yes, if for the explicit war between Italy and Austria, Adriatic is useful, but Aegean borders 4 centers, Adriatic only borders 2, and you're in Smyrna, and Smyrna's pretty exposed. So,
I mean, not only that, Greece is pretty exposed as well, right? And like, by moving out of Ionian, you can't even get the convoy into Greece to back up Serbia. You're kind of entirely committing to just this bit.
Yeah. It's a bit much. I do, there was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, I read that it was happening correctly, and we just explode Austria. So we get into Budapest and Romania. I cover Warsaw because I want to stay safe. And Austria went from 6 to 2 in a single year.
Wow. But you also go down one. Germany does manage to get England on side here with their full commit, it looks like, and England comes back towards you again.
Well, I don't go down one, because I gain Romania and Budapest.
Yeah, sorry.
And so I lose Smyrna and Denmark. So I'm only neutral, but yeah, I was surprised that England flipped here. It makes sense. When I look back on it, I shouldn't have been so surprised about it, but it means that my tactics were poor, and I should have supported myself into Kiel. Right, I could have done better moves on the German front, pretty much this entire game.
Yeah.
But hey.
Gotcha. But
I thought I had a solid ally. Cries.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because in this position, I don't think England is winning either way, right? They're not going to have a huge result, because even if they turn around against you, they've still got France to deal with here, and this France is just never going to die, even if they're working with Germany, because Germany's gone this way. So
the good news is that France only has 2 fleets for England, and so there's not that much of a threat to England here. as long as they keep 2 fleets back to stay neutralized, and if Germany's fully committing against Russia, then yeah, you can't afford to pull stuff back and try to get some builds, and maybe get Sweden and St. Petersburg and turn this, like, center in Norway, which has been a center that's been on loan for kind of the entire game, into, like, a center you actually have.
Yes.
So.
I think what I was gonna say was just, you can, as Russia, like, hope that England is just playing for survival. But yeah, once Germany turned around, I think there was always the possibility that England could flip to Germany's side, right? Alright, but yeah, generally, really good turn, given the South.
The South really well. Austria is almost completely crushed, and we got Italy to flip, and Italy has flipped in such a way where there's really not much of a follow-up into me. Like, just their units are so split out and so uncoordinated. Like, the fleet in Syria and Smyrna, a lone army in Serbia, like, I really don't have to worry about anything in the south. Assuming I make progress, like, here's one of those things where you kind of have to recognize tempo is a thing. Because Italy is playing down a unit and has fleets in bad positions, if I were to take the game slowly from here, Italy will reinforce, Italy will get armies convoyed into good positions, they're going to kill Trieste and be coordinated to cover Serbia, like, everything is going to go badly for me if I take too long. So I don't have ages to play around in this position, but if I make moves to play quickly, kind of ish, then I have a chance.
Yeah.
Or if I can get France to hit Italy, that does it too.
I think the other thing that you have on your side here is probably that Austria is going to be so pissed at Italy for doing this, right? That they probably just say to you, I'll do whatever you want at this point. I don't know if they actually did that, but as Austria in this position, I would probably just keep on Tuscany and Trieste and go, screw you, Italy.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, they have only just... They're forced to only keep on Trieste and Tuscany because they blew up... They got every other unit.
Everything else gets popped, yeah.
I mean, apart from...
Sorry, Syria didn't... Or Smyrna didn't have to get popped, but I honestly, I think that fleet does nothing.
Yeah. But generally, I would just go, screw you, Italy, I'm going for you. So...
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay, shall we go to the winter?
I don't build for the first time this game. Catastrophic.
Who does build? England gets a build, they're gonna put Army Edinburgh to try and get it here. That's, I mean, I feel like that needs to be a fleet right now, because that convoy is not gonna work, right? They need a unit in North Sea first in order to get that there. But hey, if they trust France enough to pull this unit back up, then maybe that's fine. And then
yes.
Army Venice, Fleet Naples, that seems completely reasonable. Yeah, anything to add?
Before we go to spring, though, I do actually remember something fun that was happening here. Since England has stabbed me here, I figure, who's the person who wants to mess with England the entire game? Germany. Germany's been wanting to mess with England forever. So, hey Germany, do you want support into Denmark? And Norway? Now, how might Germany get into Norway by any chance?
Oh,
well, they move into St. Petersburg, and then I support them in Norway in the fall. And something that you might remember about this particular England player is that he does have a habit of pissing people off and being generally abrasive in the rest.
Yeah, so I don't think we mentioned this during the recording, but this England player also played with us in 6 Weeks of Chaos, which was the biggest diplomacy game of all time, 81 players. He played as Luxembourg, who, if you've watched that series, you will know is probably the primary antagonist for me in that game, at least for half of it. Yeah, he can get on the wrong side of people.
Yes.
Sometimes.
So I thought there was actually a real chance that Germany would take this. And so I offer this to Germany, and Germany does say yes.
They
which
say yes.
is like, hell yes. It's very funny to me. So I agree to support Kiel into Denmark. Now, there's some fun tactics here, right? You mentioned that this army in Eddie is so clearly trying to get convoyed into Norway. Obviously, I kind of have to cover that, but I'm sure that England and Germany were coordinating on this, and they knew that I would have to cover it. So they just agreed to do this shuffle where Norwegian goes to Barents, and then Sweden goes. I mean, we can see the moves. We should see the moves so that you can see like what they were, what's going on here. Basically, Germany, I think, only said yes to screw with me. Which was very sad.
But there's a bounce here, which is promising.
Not what you would necessarily want to see, right? Yeah. Well, as me, I would love to see it. But I think that was arranged. I think that England didn't want to leave English Channel until they saw France move to the south.
Gotcha.
So I suspect that was arranged between them. And then here, I think Germany only agreed to move into St. Petersburg, expecting, I think, that I wouldn't follow up into Livonia and Moscow like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, oh, this is fine. But this is one of those, like, it's one of the few plays tactically that I made this game that I actually think was solid tactics, like, plus negotiation. Because I knew that Germany was moving to St. Pete, and I say knew with quotation marks, I could make this play. And then, even if I end up in Norway like this, I can still guarantee the recapture of St. Pete. So,
yeah,
this feels pretty solid.
Tap Barents.
I didn't really risk anything.
Too, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But remember how I was talking about like how I needed to have tempo in the south and stuff? I just didn't do any of that. I don't know. Right? I'm just like, all right. I guess I can sit around and not do anything.
I mean, you say that, but like the fact that these units rotate south means I think you have a lot more time than you.
Yeah, right. France is attacking Italy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's a tough thing about France is sometimes you really do just have to sit on your hands for years, which nobody wants to do. But now Italy has to defend against France. And if Italy defends against France, yeah, there's really nothing that's going to happen. Or nothing good, nothing bad to my position is going to happen for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely just kind of sit back and relax it.
Yeah.
Yep, knowing that you can take Serbia whenever, and Italy has to build fleets now and send them this way, so, yep. All looks pretty good.
Feels pretty great, man. So yeah, that's 1906. We can go on to 1907, I guess.
Even, like, Kiel and Berlin, what is Germany gonna do now? Do they just go back? Let's see full 1906 here.
Yeah.
Well, they cover Kiel. Okay, they don't bother covering Berlin. And France moves full force against them? Jeez.
I think it's arranged. I don't know. Surely it's arranged.
Rare can't be arranged, right? There's no shot.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, it totally can. If you're trying to make it like a stalemate, right? Rare can do something, right?
Well, yeah, but it's clearly not there to help stalemate. It's, like, obviously gonna just push into Holland the moment the pressure's off.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen, but, like, I don't know, man. Everyone against Russia, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, Italy does retain Tunis on this turn, which means they get to build Fleet Rome and Fleet Naples?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Which notably are not armies.
Yep. Really nice for you. And also, like, they have fleet in Trieste instead of an army, so you can also just take Serbia whenever.
Whenever. Truly whenever.
Jeez, just feels like a really good position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say here?
It's just like... Yeah, the double fleet build, right? France moving against Italy really locked it in. If France didn't move against Italy, then my position is harder, for sure. But I don't know. I felt pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to coalition the board leader, you really do need it to be a board-wide coalition, not having someone poke one of the people from behind.
The board leader is this powerful, as powerful as I am, and is in just as solid a position on the on my side of the stalemate line, being in a box. There are board leaders you can coalition when they're smaller, like 8 center type stuff. Or if it's like Germany and whatever, where you can really hit them with everyone. Like, more efficiently with the fewer powers. Here, it's not, like, nobody has good attacks against me, so you need to spend a lot of time getting into position.
Yeah. But
that doesn't happen, and I can't resist the Italian dots for so long, not when they walk out of Smyrna like this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you may as well, I think I would do the same at this point, right? Well, we've got Winter, and this is power rankings. I don't think
I'm
really
in first
change.
and nobody else matters.
Yeah, Austria drops off because Austria is dead.
I think France is going to end the game in second place.
I think England
maybe Italy ends
Germany.
The game in third. England, whatever. Germany's last, yeah.
Yeah. So, more or less like that, right?
Again, it's important to note, this game has a 1910 end year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, even if they really do coordinate against me a lot, they can actually stop me at this point. We've passed that threshold somewhere in the past.
So I feel like they could, but it needed Italy to have more armies down here, and they, with these fleet builds, they kind of lock it in, right?
Yes. I think once you see the fleet builds, it's like, I don't think there's a chance that they can stop me anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, a chance maybe. Again, if like they go to Smyrna, if Italy like full force goes into me now, and they like, if you like start moving all the rest of the map at once, yeah, there's a chance, but like that doesn't happen, and obviously these people are still playing. Like there is score difference between being on 6 centers versus being on 9, even if I'm winning as a board leader, and so. It's really tough to trust that France won't try to get dots from people on the way out. Like, they're in Ruhr, for God's sake, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so... I feel like Thanos here. I've put my gauntlet on. I am inevitable. Let's go.
Yep.
What happens to Thanos, guys?
Shall we head into the spring?
Yeah.
Alright. Yep. That does appear to be a nice stab. Oh my god, you get into Denmark as well.
Yeah, the Denmark convoy made me real happy.
God, so it's important to note this, like, why this is really important. It puts another unit in this theatre, right? If you just go in with Baltic, you've got these 2 units and that's it. Getting the army across the water here is really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And into Smyrna, and into Serbia, and this is going back. Oh my god. It's
not as nice as you might think for me to be in Denmark, because there's this fleet in North Sea and fleet in Kiel still. Mm-hmm. So the difference between being in Denmark versus Prussia is not as huge. It's nice because it does coordinate on Sweden, and so I can do like a 3-pronged attack on Sweden, or a 3-strength attack on Sweden, but it does look like I'm getting forced out of the north, basically. I think Norway and St. Pete are going to get lost, probably. But maybe I can hang on to Sweden or something.
Yeah.
But we're backs out. France doesn't go for Holland. It was very sad.
Oh, I mean, they might go for Holland in the future, but hey.
Yeah. But yeah, I just decide this is the time to move against Italy. No reason to play it out any longer. Let me just get as much as I can. I think Trieste is guaranteed now, right?
Or
maybe it's not guaranteed. Maybe I have stuff.
No, you don't have a guarantee on it, I think. Especially because you need to cover Vienna.
I mean, alright, I guess. Yeah, it's not guaranteed. But the Albania has to guess between Trieste and Greece, right?
Yes.
That's true. So, yep, that's relevant. Oh, they'll probably just cover Greece. I'm sure you're supposed to just cover Greece here.
Yeah, I think maybe the most relevant thing here is whether Italy is gonna go, screw you, I'm just gonna let France have centres now, or whether they're gonna go, I'm gonna try and retain as much as I can and get a decent score going into the next round, right?
Yeah, in a non-winner take all format, the let's just go to the next round, let's do as well as I can, makes a lot more sense.
Yes. Alright, do you want to talk about anything more here?
Just go to the fall.
Alright, fall 1907. You do manage to guess right on Greece. Well done. You do lose St. Peter. Oh my god, you get into Norway again. Although that unit...
Yeah, it's really funny, because Norway was the only center that I already had up there, and they took St. Pete from Norway, and I threw a tap on Norway. So I made the wrong guess here. If I had just held Denmark, things go great. But I didn't, so Denmark actually gets popped. It's very sad.
Yeah, or even supposed Denmark up to Sweden, right? That would also...
That would have worked too, yep. If I had done most other tactical moves here, it would have been over. But the irrelevant part is that this phase, we agree to a draw.
Alright. Well, I mean, it looks like there's still a winter, so it's after... Well, yeah. After
Sure,
this phase goes through. Right?
Yeah, after fall resolves, and they look at this as the board result where I went +2. And it's like, from my perspective, I'm pretty happy to end the game here. There are still 5 powers on the board, so having 4 powers to pay tribute's great in this system. And yeah, I went +2, so I can put down more units. But I don't think I'm really gonna get that many more centers. Like, yeah, there's a chance, especially if France works against Italy to take, like, Rome and Naples. I can probably finagle Trieste, but I probably can't finagle Venice, even. My fleet to Norway is going to be a pain to get disbanded, but not that much of a pain. Like, England is going to build again, so England's going to put down a fleet in Eddie or something. And so it's like, I could probably do it. But also, I was plugging the numbers into the scoring calculator for this game. So there's a couple things. First of all, I knew that I was the last vote because I think they were public draw votes. Maybe.
I don't know if Backstabber has the equivalent of public draw votes, but maybe everyone was just saying...
Yeah, maybe everyone was saying it. I don't know. Anyways, I knew that I was the last one to put in the draw. And so... Oh, this was fun. Everyone had said draw, and then during retreats, because I had a retreat, I think, or like a disband to put in. Yeah, I had a retreat in St. Pete as the only retreat. I was able to then put in, because draw votes are after adjudication, I waited to see the results of the phase. Realized I don't think my position is going to improve. I spent a couple minutes on it. I put in my draw vote, handled retreat, and then the game drew. So we got locked in.
Gotcha, yeah. And the nice thing about that, I mean, you can instantly adjudicate retreats if you have the only retreat and you put in that you want to have it happen immediately, which then means if everyone else had their draw votes in from the previous turn, you can very quickly then make that decision before anyone decides, oh, I can get more out of this, and takes their draw vote back, right? So, yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah, I agree completely. I think this position, you absolutely take the draw in as Russia. Also, not mentioning, right, you're on 13 centres. The other powers are on 6, 6, 4, 5, which is an insanely high score for tribute. Like, you're getting tribute from all those powers equivalent to the difference in centre count between you and them. That's between, what, 7 and 9? That's insane. And I agree, like, with all of these fleets here, you are not going to get anything more here. This is going to go down, so you're even going to go down centres here, and if these units push onto your line here, you actually might be in a little bit of trouble. Not a huge amount
A
of
couple
trouble,
years
but...
left in the game, but like I will probably lose centers. I think if the game plays out for the full 3 more years, I think I end up with a worse result.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes,
set the draw, call it a day. I mean, I am building 2, right, which obviously helps my position look better.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if Italy gets into Aegean and stuff, right, my life gets hard. Italy is disbanding too, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
But if there's this one and
France is
this
probably
one,
gonna
for
pressure.
example, then...
Yeah, right. If they disband to make France's life easy, but France just convoyed into Tuscany, right? Like, I don't think Italy is exactly happy to let France take everything.
Mm-hmm.
But notably, I don't even think I want France to take everything, right? If I get Trieste, but France gets the rest, I'm sure my score is much worse.
Yes.
So
the most important thing in Tribute, I think similar to the most important thing in something like Summer Squares, right, is being ahead of the person in second place. Like a long way ahead of the person in second place. So if France is gaining here, then yeah, you would definitely lose points. Alright, well, yes, This was fantastic. And this gave you enough points to progress to the semifinals, right? So this...
Yes, but only barely. Because I got a 0 from my other score, then I did not... my score was not great for the primary round. Yeah, like, this was a good result, but this was not a, like, fantastic world beater of a result that, like, is guaranteed. Like, I realized that was probably guaranteed to get through, but for just, like, I'm plugging stuff into this scoring calculator right now for this end position, where England and France are at 6, Germany's at 4, Italy's at 5, and Russia's at 13. I scored 130 points for this result, which... I run the numbers for pretty sure that's not thinking through, but England and France and Italy and Germany all scored 45 to 37 in that range. Mm-hmm. So yes, I scored like 3 times as much as they did, but 3 times as much is not like... They had very bad scores, and I had a very good score. So, it's not a guarantee. And in the qualifiers for the next round, actually, I think 4th lowest.
Ooh, interesting.
I was either 4th lowest or 3rd lowest qualifier.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's 28 players in Olympus advance to the second round, right?
Yes.
Out of, I don't know how many people played. It was quite a lot of people, I think, like 70 odd or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah, so. Yeah, it was a relatively close-cut thing, and I think it's definitely made a bit worse by the fact that this draws in 1907. So all of the other games that are happening simultaneously, right? People are looking at the scores and how far up do I need to be to hit that qualifying line, and using that to determine at what point they're going to draw those games, right? The fact that your game finishes early then means that other people have the opportunity to go, okay, I'm going to push for a couple extra centers so I overtake Ezio in the leaderboard and get to, onto that safe position to advance into the next round.
Well, this was anonymous, right? So people weren't saying, oh, I'm going to beat Ezio.
Well, yes, but
But they did do the calculations where... Because there was apparently a way you could abuse the algorithm that the creator made to identify like which power was a power in another game.
Oh.
And so it was like, it basically like lost the anonymity because it was anonymous as to who was whom, but it was still, this is how much this person scored, like this, right? So then they decided, screw it, rather than making everyone do this individually and do it, we're just going to make that public. And so somebody was posting, here's the results after each phase. Here's the score if the game were to end right now.
Yeah, and because Diplomacy is this kind of alliance game, the players will be trying to kind of get people who have worked with them very well into the finals as well, into the semi-finals as well, right? So, and that's something you can do if you're if you have a good idea of what all the scores are and know that, hey, I've got enough to get through, we can get this other person to enough as well if we give them X number of senses, which is when it becomes very, very dangerous to be near that cutoff line, right? Because people will be trying to leapfrog their allies ahead of you. But yeah, it ended up being enough, and because this is a really excellent result, well done on this.
Yeah.
Certainly better than the other game.
Certainly.
Alright.
Yeah, so I qualified in the semifinals, and I suspect we will talk about that in the future, although those games are still ongoing.
Yes, we will absolutely talk about those in the future. They will be part of this series as well. And then hopefully we'll see you in the finals. But hey, we'll have to see how the semifinals turn out first.
Yeah, we'll see.
Alright, well, Ezio, is there anything you want to close out on here?
Nothing for me.
Alright, well, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you next time.